In a world where legends rise and fall with every punch, where the roar of the crowd fades, but the stories live on. This is where those stories are told. This is Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. From the blood, the sweat, and the glory, to the controversies, comebacks, and knockouts, we go behind the ring, no fluff, no hype, and definitely no BS. Just the truth behind the fight game. And we've been doing it for over 2 decades. A podcast pioneer, now a Hall of Famer.
Great. What's that ego gonna be like?
And next, the comeback kid.
Wait, isn't he like 90 or something?
Shut up, he'll hear you. The reigning, defending, undisputed, heavyweight champion of boxing broadcasting. It's Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. And it's on now.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for the Billy C Show. Good morning, good day, good evening, whenever you're watching, whenever you're listening. I hope you're doing okay today. Today's show, guess what? It's being brought to us by my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now where all good books are sold. And you can get a copy of this book right now where you're watching or listening to this very show. I tell you what, we got a special going on right now, and it's going to be going on, I think, throughout to the end of the year. So just visit BillyCBoxing.com and click on the book, and I think it's being sold for like $12. So check it out, get yourself a copy. Holidays are coming up, buy a bunch of copies. Anyway, we got a busy show for you today. Coming up later, I'm going to continue with my official Billy C rankings. This week we tackled the cruiserweight division. If you recall, last week we did the heavyweight, and I'm going to run it down. I'm only doing 9 weight classes, so I'm being a little, rebelistic. Is that a word? I don't know. But anyway, also coming up later. You know what? I didn't have a drink yet today. Maybe that's what it is. I'm going to give you a full breakdown and my prediction of the heavyweight showdown that's taking place this weekend between Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. I'll break it down and give you my prediction. This week's scheduled guest is WBO's number 9 ranked welterweight Rashidi Speedy Ellis. I'm also going to talk about what appears to have been or appears to have turned out to be fake news pertaining to no more pay-per-views. You remember the no more pay-per-view promise? I'll be talking about that and much more. But let's first start talk about the major fight results from this past weekend. And the very first one I want to talk about is Paulie Malignaggi's return to the ring, not the boxing ring, the bare-knuckle boxing ring. And my first thought was, what the hell is Paulie Malignaggi thinking? I started watching this BKB, bare knuckle boxing, and it's brutal. It's brutal. And Paulie Malignaggi, known for his boxing ability, I didn't think that it would fare too well in the triangle ring. Now remember, with the BKB, this ring is literally a triangle if you haven't seen it. It's pretty entertaining stuff. They go 5 rounds. He stepped in the ring with Tyler Goodjohn, who has been known as a brawler, a guy that is used to bare-knuckle boxing. And the fight was a good one. If you haven't seen it, it's an extremely good fight. Paulie Malignaggi, he used his boxing skill, but he took some shots. He got busted up pretty bad in the fight. Tyler Goodjohn was using an open hand defense, which I think kind of played into Paulie's hands. But he definitely showcased his skills at 44 years old, and he won a split decision. The way the judges scored the 5 round fight was 48-47 twice for Paulie Malignaggi and one of the judges scored it the same for Tyler Goodjohn. He said after the fight that he got an eye poke, and he said he was still blind in his eye, and then he got cut. He finished the fight with one eye, and all he could see was shadows. He said after the fight, "I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I'd like to get a title shot after this with the BKB. Nothing satisfies me more than an accomplishment. It's bigger than the money. I made weight a lot easier than I anticipated. With a bit more push, I could box at 147. I'd like to get the belt at 154, then become a champion at 147. He's now 1-1 in bare knuckle boxing. He had fought under the bare knuckle fighting championship banner and lost to Artem Lobov in 2019. So he's 1-1. And then don't forget his boxing career, 36-8 with 7 knockouts. See, that's the whole thing. I just didn't. I didn't think that because of his lack of knockout power that he would fare too well. But I'll tell you what I liked, the way he was working the body in this fight. I liked it. And another note on this card, there were a bunch of other fights, but on the card we had Marshall Fury here, who was making his pro debut on this same card. And he fought Omari Grant, which was, as you heard from Marshall Fury on this show, that he was a very late sub. And anyway, the two guys making their pro debuts for BKB fought to a draw, 38-38 across the board with all of the judges there. Another fight I wanted to talk about, give a shout-out to my man Coach, who's in the chat room right now. And if you're watching live, I know we're on several different platforms right now. Check us out in the chat room on YouTube's platform. And Coach says Paulie's got grit, ring craft, and the ability to adapt in mid-fight. And he feels those were decisive factors in this fight, and I couldn't agree with him more. Another fight that took place this weekend that I want to talk about was former 2-division world champion and boxing. I think he's going to go down when it's all said and done as a great fighter. Danny Garcia fought his goodbye fight or alleged goodbye fight at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn when he took on Danny Gonzalez. The crowd was pretty good, and this fight streamed. It was a pay-per-view, which I was very vocal about, saying that was a mistake. I don't hear about what the final numbers were, but I can't seem to think that they did that well. But at the end of the day, Danny Garcia came out ahead with a 4th-round knockout. He says that he knew after the fight, he said he knew that he hurt him in the first round, but he needed to get his timing on, so he decided to set up his jab, and knew that he was going to catch him, and he did with 45 seconds in to the 4th round, and that ended it. Danny Garcia improved to 38 wins, 4 losses, with 22 of his wins coming by knockout, and Gonzalez dropped to 22-5 with a draw and 7 knockouts. I checked today, and it wasn't on there, but I'm afraid that due to just this active fight, just the fact that he was active, that he's going to be ranked in the WBC, WBO, IBF, and WBA, which their ratings will come out in a couple of weeks. But he's not ranked now. He is ranked at number 30 on BoxRec at 154 pounds. He says he wants to fight Terrence Crawford. Look, everybody wants to fight Terrence Crawford at this point. But I don't know, man. I think Danny should take this win and leave on a winning note. I know that he's had some issues in the past. And, it's always good to end a career with a W, especially a performance like that. Give a shout-out to Joel, who just popped in the chat room. My man Joel's been a long-time viewer and listener. those are the two fights I wanted to touch on. Also, we were talking about Moses Atuma and the fact that he's, trying to get a fight with, a championship fight, but specifically he's shooting to get a shot with Usyk. But then he also thought maybe he could get a shot at Pulev. And Kubiak Pulev, if you recall correctly, is the It's hard to follow the WBA world champions because they have so many in each weight class. But Pulev, boys and girls, is the WBA regular heavyweight champion. And I would think that Moses Atuma thinks that would be his easiest, route to a world championship. I don't know if I could disagree with that. Not that I think he deserves a world title, but in any event, Pulev has chosen to fight Gassiov next, and Murat Gassiov 32-2 with 25 knockouts. Kubrat Pulev is 32-3 with 14 knockouts, and it's going to take place in Dubai, and it's tentatively scheduled for December 12th. So we'll keep an eye on that. And, I personally, I don't think that Ituma should be in line for a world title fight at this point. I know it's a money grab, and I know it's a win-win situation for him. But for the sport of boxing, I'm not too sure about that. But my next question is simple. Whatever happened to no more pay-per-view starting in November? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was announced. Didn't Turkey Al-Rashid say that? Unless I was dreaming, he said it on air. No more pay-per-views beginning in November. I know this weekend's is a pay-per-view for the Joseph Parker and Wardley fight. And so you figure, okay, well, we're still in October, right? Well, I saw that DAZN has posted that they are going to include the way the verbiage was with the post that I saw was that DAZN is changing their subscription rate, and they're going to include the pay-per-views with your subscription. Now, to me, that's kind of a bait and switch, man. I mean, that's telling me that there's still going to be pay-per-views, but if you pay the extra price for DAZN, you'll get the pay-per-views. I still ask, what happened to the no pay-per-views? And by the way, while we're talking about Turkey Al-Rashid, rumor has it that he and Zuffa Boxing are going to be starting a streaming type service as well, where or at least a plan that you can sign up for and get all of those fights. This is sounding a lot like the PBC and the way they started. I got an email from Alex T, the other Alex, and he mentions exactly this. He said, "Did you see on DAZN? Did you see that DAZN announced the Benavidez and Yarde fight will be a pay-per-view? This is one of Turkey Al-Rashid's shows too. So much for no more pay-per-views. I just canceled my subscription. It ends in February. I doubt I will ever renew." Thanks for the email, Alex. The thing is that DAZN definitely has. It's the place for fights. There's no question about it. But listen, to me, it sounds like the PBC all over. If you remember, the PBC, they started out flooding us with all kinds of fights. It was on every network known to man. They were all free. Everybody's jumping for joy, saying the PBC saved boxing. Oh, And if you remember, they had a huge war chest full of money. They spent it all. And next thing you know, there's no more free fights. And every fight they've done that I can recall in the last couple of years have been pay-per-views, and they're all shit fights too. I've been telling everybody since I've been doing this show for 22 years and counting, that boxing and boxing's fans are the most fleeced fans of all sports. I mean, think about it. Major League Baseball games, free. The World Series, which is starting Friday, free. NFL football games, free. The Super Bowl, free. NHL games, free. The Stanley Cup Series, free. NBA games, free. NBA championship, free. You get the picture. It's all free. No boxing, you want to be a boxing fan, you got to pay out the ass for boxing. And here's the best part. They're shit fights generally. Very rarely are we getting good fights on, boxing. I mean, let's face it. Even these fights, I'm going to break down this fight this weekend. I don't think that's a pay-per-view worthy fight at all. I mean, I love both of these fighters, Parker and Wardley, but this isn't a pay-per-view caliber fight. Somebody told me, in England it is. That's not what I hear. That's not the correspondence and social media conversations that I have. There's a lot of people in England and all throughout the United Kingdom that feel that this should not be a pay-per-view. And here in the States, if you're trying to spread your product and you're trying to get your fighters known, you listen. The way fights used to be promoted was what I call grassroots promoting, and there's only a couple of these promoters left. Jimmy Birchfield from CES Boxing is one of them. Speedy, Rashidi, Ellis is the main event of their November 1st card, who's scheduled to join us in a little bit. I'm going to be ringside for that. I can't wait to be at one of these shows because they're so lively. The fans are there. It's interactive. The fights are usually extremely competitive and exciting. But these guys are becoming far and few in between. Bobby Hitz is another one out of the Chicago area. He's going to be joining us in another couple of weeks, talking about his pro career as a heavyweight and his promotional stuff. So, I mean, these kinds of guys, what they do is sell tickets. They sell advertising. You buy a program, and they go out there and they're knocking on doors, and that's how they're putting these events on. It just seems like some of these bigger fights, they just want to charge you and give you a non-competitive fight, and it's getting old. I've been saying this since doing the show. All the boxing fans would have to do is say no. My man Coach is saying DeBella's Broadway boxing. Yeah, but when was the last time Lou did a show? I haven't seen any. If he's doing it, he's not promoting it the way he used to. He says, Coach also makes a comment in the chat room. He says, the pay-per-view has a limited audience, reach, and fan engagement. Free or subscriptions have more sport growth, a la Paramount and Netflix. Super Bowl generates enormous revenue from advertisers and sponsors. Well, that the Super Bowl, first of all, football is a mainstream sport, like all the other team sports I mentioned. So, yes, you have way more eyes on the games, and therefore your sponsorships are worth a lot of money. But since boxing is not a mainstream sport anymore, in order to get more eyes on the sport, you need to put your product in front of them. Coach mentions Netflix. Well, the most watched fight in the history of television was the Terrence Crawford-Canelo Alvarez fight. Why? Because it was on Netflix. Yes, you had to subscribe to Netflix, but anybody that already is, and they had, over 40 million people watched that fight. Now, did it create fans? Maybe it created fans for Netflix. We'll see. These pay-per-views, especially with fights. Before you can sell a product, you have to promote the product. You have to make the product, viable for the fans. So Terrence Crawford and Canelo specifically, was already a name in the sport. And to have Canelo on Netflix, and then what Terrence Crawford did by challenging himself and moving up in the weight classes, et cetera, it all added to that. And I know that as far as I can recall, I think the Jake Paul Tank Davis fight is also going to be on Netflix. And, that's kind of a circus performance. It's, it's an exhibition. It reminds me of Stanley Ketchel trying to fight Jack Johnson. And everything that I've seen, Tank Davis, can't keep a straight face. I mean, this is WWE. I don't anticipate it being anything real. Tank Davis has been honest about saying that it's a money grab for him, and he's kissing the sport goodbye. Okay. So Boxing Insider, coaches tell me DeBella's working with them. Yeah, well, it's not boxing. It's not Broadway boxing anymore, but those cards are decent. And the Boxing Insider, that promoter's, I've talked to him. He's clearly not making any money yet, and they've been showcasing a lot of young up and coming talent with that series. And from what I understand, he's not even signing them. So I don't know where that's going to go. But anyway, I do see that we got Rashidi getting into the room here. But I just want to say, if you can hear me, Rashidi, your video isn't on. So if you have a camera, you can get that set. If not, I'll just wait another minute or so for you to work on getting a camera shot of yourself. And if we don't have it, then we'll get you on audio only. But anyway, I told you guys that Rashidi Speedy Ellis is going to be joining us, and he's working on his video right now. He's going to be the main event of the card I keep talking to you guys about, CES Boxing, putting it on at Mohegan Sun November 1st. It's a fight I'm going to be ringside for. You got to get yourself some tickets for that now. Just go to cesfights.com, and we can see you there. And if you come, make sure if you see me, make sure you come up and say hello. So in any event, let me check and see right now with Rashidi Ellis. Rashidi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. If you're there and you can hear me, you got to unmute your mic. So all of that is on yourself. You go. We hear you now. Hello. Camera shot, right? You get me a camera shot of you, or what? You want me to? No,
I'm trying to fix it. I got it now. I got it.
There he is. And I'm an old man. And it's like I got to get used to all this modern stuff too. Joining us right now is Rashidi Speedy Ellis.
I'm trying to get the headphones working.
Yeah, he's working on his stuff. I might have thrown him into the fire a little too soon. Like I just said, he's headlining CES Boxing's November 1st Autumn Classic show at Mohegan Sun. I'm going to be ringside, and you're with us now, my man. Are you all set?
Yeah, I got you now.
All right, brother. Well, listen, I got some questions for you. First and foremost, I want to thank you for taking the time. I know you're busy. And do you feel? Hey, listen. I'm hopefully I can meet you in person on the 1st, because I'm going to be there. So
definitely meet me after.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to be there for the weigh-in. I know they were talking about that. So we'll have to stay tuned for that. But I'm going to dive right into it. Since your controversial loss to Villa in January of 23, you've won 3 straight fights, all by stoppage. Have you worked on trying to focus more on stopping your opponent, or have those KOs just come to you?
Yeah, you can say that because after that, I can't take it in the judge's hands. So I'm just going for the knockout now.
So, okay, good, because that's what it looked like to me. Every time I ask fighters that, they say, well, if a knockout comes, but it looked to me on those 3 fights that, they weren't just coming, that you were looking for them, and
definitely looking for the knockout.
yeah, sometimes you can't put it into judges' hands because, I know you can't say it, but I can. Sometimes it's like 3 blind mice judging the fights. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it happens a lot. I see it a lot.
Yeah, I bet you do. Up front and personal, right?
Yeah.
I got all right. I got a question. I got my questions, but we got some people in the chat room right now, and my man Coach is he says, I'm going to read you what he wrote. He wrote, "Ask the Savage with a smile about his boxing in basements using mittens days. His brother Ronald, a pro, and his sister Rashida, ranked number 1 in the world in 2020, an Olympian boxer. Tell us about that. I didn't. My man Coach always comes up with this stuff, man.
Yeah. Back in the day before we even started boxing, me, my brother, and my sister, and like all the kids in the neighborhood. Oh, happy birthday to my brother too! It's his birthday today. Yeah. We used to box in my basement, but we didn't have boxing gloves. We used to put in like mittens with socks, and we used to fight like that.
Hey, that's what you got to do. You always hear stories like that,
Yeah, we had no boxing gloves, so yeah, we had to do what we had to do.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad Coach asked that. My next question is, you have some good names on your resume, Eddie Gomez, Alex Rocha, Angulo Ruiz, and Ruiz, to name a few. How will those wins help you in what I think arguably will be your toughest fight in November 1st against Javier Fortuna?
Experience. It just give me experience and confidence, especially beating them guys, because those very tough guys. Coming up from the amateurs, I know they're coming up from the amateurs, and they did a lot of damage in amateurs. So beating them was building confidence and experience. And,
so
going to fight Fortuna is good.
Yeah, you were breaking up there for a little bit. So basically, it's the experience that you think you don't have anything specific that you learned from each one.
No, just experience. It's being in there.
That's cool. Coach, Coach is. It sounds like Coach is doing this interview because he said you were, in his opinion, you were just letting it happen when you fought Alberto Mascara. 210 punches landed versus 127. That's being a busy fighter, my man.
Yeah, that fight. Yeah, we was definitely throwing a lot of punches that fight. I remember that one.
Hey, listen. Speaking of,
it was a lot of low blows though. He hit me low like 20 something times. I was peeing blood after the fight. The referee didn't say nothing. That was crazy. That was a crazy fight.
Didn't even give him a warning.
No, they gave me a warning because I gave him one back, just one, and I got a point taken away. It's crazy.
that kind of crap always kills me. But jumping back to Fortuna, do you feel a win over him should get you in a conversation for a world title fight?
Yeah, definitely. Because he's been there already. He's a 2-time world champion, I believe. So beating him would definitely put me in the talks.
Well, I mean, you're climbing the ranks now. The WBO's got you at number 9, so a win over Fortuna should definitely jump you up there.
Yeah, for sure.
So listen, your last 3 fights have basically been in front of your home crowd. I mean, how do you feel about fighting in front of your peeps?
Oh, it was good because, I didn't fight back home in like 10 plus years. So coming back, fighting back home was, people showing love. It was good.
Do you think that that's going to give you a big edge against Fortuna on the first?
Yeah, Mohegan-Sun's not that far away from my home, so yeah, I can say that.
Well, you know how you people are from New England. You claim all those states. You know, you
Yeah,
got
yeah, you true.
Massachusetts,
The,
you got
the Patriots,
Connecticut.
yeah, New England,
Yeah,
New England, yeah.
exactly. You know, you say New England, it's like, oh yeah, I'm from New England. I'm from Mass. I'm from Vermont. I'm from all the New England states. You know, makes me laugh. You
Yeah,
know,
true,
I'm
true.
stuck. I'm stuck in New York. You know, I'm just New York. You know, so anyway, do you have a game plan you can share with us?
I don't want to tell no secrets, but no, but game plan. I'm just gonna do what I do. I'm just gonna go in there, have fun.
And you're going to be looking for that knockout, huh?
Oh yeah, of course, definitely.
Now,
I
sometimes when
believe
you
I believe the later rounds because Fortuna's kind of tricky. You know, he's kind of awkward fighter, but once I get the timing and everything, I'm gonna get him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, all kidding aside, I mean, I know going for the knockout is, you know, what fans want to see, and obviously fighters all want the knockout, but it could also be mistake driven. You know, you could do something a little too soon. So I mean, going for a knockout after you break them down, right? I mean, that
Yeah,
makes a little
yeah,
sense.
yeah. Yeah, I have a lot more experience in just going there, swinging, looking for the knockout. You know, I'm
Right,
gonna build.
right.
I'm gonna break them down. Then when I see it, it's gonna come.
Well, your hand speed has always been, you know, one of your assets, and now you add some power to that. I could see people going on your opponents going on a defensive when they have to fight you. Is that part of your approach to get them, you know, on their back foot, so to speak, and having you dictate the action?
It's definitely countering and making them paralyzed, making them scared to throw something. And I just take over.
Yeah,
It's
make
part
them
of the game.
overthink, right? Make them think too
Yes,
much, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
See,
you.
right now, I'm giving away a little bit too much.
No, I know. I'm trying to tiptoe around. I'm
Nah,
trying
I'm
to
playing. I'm
tiptoe around
playing.
it, you know. But you know, body shots are. Let me rephrase it this way. Body shots are always helpful, don't you think?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna work the body up and down. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get the knockout.
Whatever it takes to win, right?
Hmm.
Well, that's good. Not looking ahead, but you know, assuming you get the job done on the first. Do you have anything in the works in terms of what you would be doing next, or are you going to just, you know, take it as it comes after that fight?
Take it as it comes, but I'm looking for the world champions. Hopefully, I get Barrios because we fighting for a WBC title. So hopefully that put me up there in the rankings, so I get to fight Barrios or Brian Norman, the winner of Brian Norman and Devin Haney. Because like you said, I'm number 9 now. So after this fight, it'll probably boost me up. So I get that fight, or whatever comes, or the people, the guy that had the IBF, or Rolly, because I heard Rolly got the WBO, WBA.
Yeah. Well, you know that's to me that's the problem with all the sanctioning bodies. You know, once you start moving up the ladder in one of them and you get, you know, in line for a title shot, next thing you know, they're kicking you to the curb because you're not in their group, so to speak. You know, and I think that sucks. I don't think it's fair to the fighters.
Yeah,
Without
true.
pissing anybody off, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's kind of messed up, you could say. Because they always find a way to dodge their mandatory or dodge the people that's right next to them, or dodge people that know that could beat them.
Well, not only that, they leave spots open. Every one of the sanctioning bodies in your weight division have a spot that's, you know, not rated. In other words, if you had a guy ranked at number 4 and then the third spot, they don't have anybody there. But then they have a number 2 spot and number 1 spot. And I've always said, well, if they don't have a number 3, why wouldn't they move the number 4 to number 3 and the 5 to 4? I mean, you know,
Yeah,
I don't have.
I don't get that either, but is something going
It's
on? But yeah, I don't
Yeah,
get that
we
either.
know what's going on. We know what's going
Yeah,
on. You know, I mean, and
yeah,
it's not fair to the fighters. It really isn't.
yeah. It's
And
definitely not. Definitely.
you know, hopefully, and the other thing that pisses me off. Now, I'm going to add. I'm going to try to get you a little mad, so you go into this fight, and I get to see you knock out Fortuna ringside. But you know, the other thing is, you know, you get guys like you. You're a typical example of what I talk about all the time. A guy that's in the gym, working hard, fighting his way up, climbing the ladder, right? Doing what he's supposed to do. Then all of a sudden you get some guy, I'm not going to mention any names, but you get some guy who might have been out of boxing for a little while. He decides he wants to come back, and bam, next thing you know, he gets the world title shot. And I've always said, that's got to be discouraging for a guy like you working so hard month after month.
Yeah, you talking about Pacquiao?
No, I'm not mentioning any names. Oh, now hey, just because I was asking you for your game plan, you don't have to start exposing me. No, but it's happening. It's going to happen. Listen, not only Pacquiao, but it's going to happen with Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia just fought.
Yeah.
And what? He's going to be in the mix. Somebody's going to be
Yeah,
putting him in the
it
mix.
happened. Because they got the name. They got the name, and they bring the fans. I get it, but then again, it's still messed up in the game.
Yeah, but listen, you got one of the last grassroots promoters in your corner with Jimmy Birchfield. And I was just talking about him. Those guys are the real deal. Jimmy Birchfield is another guy. Bobby Hitz. These are the guys that, bust their ass selling tickets, getting sponsors, and getting fighters like you. These other promoters, they don't promote. They get the name. They hope that the name can sell.
Yeah. They're doing the right thing.
No, I listen. I have known Jimmy for a long time since I've been doing this show. I'm in my 22nd year, and he's been slugging it out and doing what he has to do. And if there were 50 more promoters like him, boxing would be in a way better state than it is right now. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I believe that.
100%. All right, well, I know you're busy. You got any final thoughts for us? Anything you can share going into your fight November 1st, which is, it's only 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it's right there. So just make sure you guys tune in, and if you guys are around the area near Connecticut, just make sure you guys come to Mohegan Sun and watch a good show.
Hey, listen, whether they're in the area or not, they should go to the area. They could stay right at Mohegan Sun. It's going to be a good card.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. If you gamble, you can gamble. Like to eat some food, should eat some good food.
The food is good there. The gambling is great. And
yes,
there's other sights to see too, my man. But anyway, hey, listen, I look forward to meeting you in person. I appreciate your time. I know you're busy. And I'm praying I'm gonna get to see you knock out Fortuna. So
yeah, I'm praying that too. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me too.
All right, brother. You be good, and we'll have you after you win. All right.
All right, definitely. Have a good one.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, bro.
That's Rashidi Speedy Ellis getting ready for his big fight on November 1st. I don't know. Coach, you mentioned Coach mentions Joe DeGuardia as a grassroots. The problem I have with Joe DeGuardia, well, I don't have any problem with Joe DeGuardia. He's a friend actually, but he's kind of on his own in a sense. He doesn't really. He's trying to do what all these other guys try to do. He tries to run standalone. He doesn't work with other promotional companies as freely as, well, definitely as freely as Jimmy Birchfield and Bobby Hitz and some of the other ones that used to do some fights that aren't anymore. But we'll have to see. But in any event,
insight, edge, and no pulled punches. This is Billy C's fight previews and predictions.
Yeah, well, we're getting a little fancy with some of our stuff, and this was just a little letting you know that I'm going to do my fight breakdown and predictions right now on the big fight that's taking place I know coaches promoting Star Boxing. He says got Algieri a fight with Pacquiao and help Joe Smith. You're right. He has. It's just whatever. I'll give you the attaboy. You're right, Joe DeGuardia, and he's been on this show a bunch of times, and I should probably have him on again. But anyway, we got the big fight this weekend, heavyweight division. Puts Fabio Wardley up against Joseph Parker. Now, Fabio Wardley right now is the WBA interim champion. And please don't get confused with the WBA, because the WBA happens to have Fabio Wardley as the interim champ. The world champion, of course, is Alexander Usyk. And their regular world champion is Kubrat Pulev. So they have not one, not two, but three guys that are walking around in the sport of boxing that claim to be a world champion. I think it's ridiculous, but nonetheless, Fabio Wardley is the interim WBA heavyweight champion. He's got a record of 19 wins, no losses, one draw, 18 of his wins coming by knockout. This is a guy that the computer has him ranked at number 6. The Ring magazine has him ranked at number 6. And Billy C's rankings had him ranked at number 12. Okay, he's not ranked in any of the other sanctioning bodies because he's got the interim belt. He is 30 years old, which is going to be 3 years younger than Joseph Parker. He's an orthodox fighter, stands 6'5", which will give him a 1-inch height advantage, which isn't much. He's a knockout puncher. He's got 95% knockout ratio for his 20 professional fights. He's fought 72 rounds in his 20 fights. Now his 20 fights will be 19 fights less than Joseph Parker. As far as the rounds, he's got 72 rounds, 180 rounds less than his opponent on Saturday, which I'll get to a little bit later. So after his first 10 fights, in my opinion, he fought the first name in his 11th fight, and that took place in March of 2021. And he fought and stopped Eric Molina in the 5th round of a scheduled 10-round fight. In his 15th fight, he got a win over a decent fighter. I don't want to call him a journeyman, but he was a decent fighter at the time, going into the fight at 19-1, and that's Nathan Gorman. They fought at Wembley Arena, and Wardley took him out in 3 of a scheduled 12-round fight. He also got a really good win against David Adderley in October of 23. He stopped him in the 7th round of a 12-round scheduled fight. He left that fight with David Adderley, who was undefeated at the time at 12-0, with the British heavyweight championship, the Commonwealth heavyweight championship, and the WBO's European heavyweight championship, which set him up for a fight with Frazier Clark, the first of 2. Frazier went into this fight at 8-0. What a great fight it was. If you didn't see it, it was a fantastic fight. Took place on March 31st of 2024. And at the end of the fight, it was a draw, 12 rounds. The way the judges scored it, 114, 113 for Wardley. Let's see, what was the other score? Was 115 to 112 for Clark, and Mark Bates had it even at 113, 113. Clark hit the canvas in the 5th round and got a point deducted in the 7th round. So if you do the math, these judges would have given the fight to Frazier Clark. But nonetheless, it ended as a draw. And then they had the rematch, which was in October of the same year, 2024. And this time, Fabio Wardley went in and just blew apart Frazier Clark, knocked him out in the 1st round. In my opinion, it was the biggest win of his career, which set him up for this fight. And he steps in the ring going against Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker was the former WBO world champion. He's currently the WBO interim champion. Like I said, he's got his record, 36 wins, 3 losses. He's got 24 of his wins coming by knockout. His 3 losses One was to Dillian White. One was to AJ, Anthony Joshua. And the third was the one that he was stopped in by Joe Joyce. 39 professional fights, 19 more than Wardley. 252 rounds as a pro, 180 more as Wardley. 67% knockout ratio. 3 years older at 33, and he stands at 6'4". The computer ranks him at number 4. He's not rated in the IBF, WBC, or WBA because he's the WBO interim champion. The ring ratings have him at number 2, and I had him ranked at number 3. We got a comment I'm going to just jump to. He says, Wardley was lucky to win his last fight against Hunai. I'm going to get to that. His big wins, in my opinion, were let's go back. You got to go back to, in my opinion, got to go way back. He's got a pretty nice resume. Early in his career, in his 6th fight, they put him in with Francis Botha, and he stopped him. Now, Botha was 147 at the time, but still, he stopped him in 2 rounds. He also had a big win in 2014 against Brian Minto, who was a journeyman, tough fighter, stopped him in 7. Fought Sherman Tank Williams. Nobody knocks out Tank Williams. He went 10 rounds with him in 2014. He also got a win over Cali Meehan, stopped him in 3. These are all names. I was talking about lack of names on Joseph Parker. He got a win over Carlos Takam in 2016. Alexander Dementro in the 6th, 2016. He won the WBO World Heavyweight title against Andy Ruiz in 2016. He had a couple other fights. He then lost to Anthony Joshua. His next fight, he lost to Dillian White. He came back with a win against Junior Fa. He beat Derek Chisora twice in back-to-back fights. Then he got knocked out by Joe Joyce, which was kind of a shocker to me. But then, he got back on the winning track, won a couple of fights. Then he beat Deontay Wilder, Zhilei Zhang, Martin Bacoli. He stopped, and Punches and Bunches says, this is my man Brett. Okay, I didn't realize who Punches and Bunches is. He said that he got lucky in his fight against Hunai. But all said and done, Joseph Parker, he impressed me in the Martin Bacoli fight, blowing him away in 2 rounds. He definitely impressed in the Zhilei Zhang fight, getting up off the canvas and fighting a real smart fight. And, beating Deontay Wilder in a 12-round fight. His experience is there. How do I see this fight going? Well, for all intent purposes, Wardley is a power puncher, but he hasn't really faced an opponent like Joseph Parker. I got to say that Joseph Parker has been in there with really good competition. I mean, when you look at Fabio Wardley's first 10 pro fights, the combined record of these guys wasn't terrible. A lot of times you see fighters going in there and the combined record is pretty bad for the first 10 fights. His combined record for his first 10 fights, 110 wins, 122 losses, 12 draws, which isn't terrible. But the key here is they were against all unknown guys. I just think that Joseph Parker, his experience is going to carry him in this fight. Wardley's expecting to win this fight and get a title shot against Alexander Usyk. But, look, I don't think I'm picking Joseph Parker in this fight. I do think Joseph Parker will stop Fabio Wardley. But even if he doesn't, he's going to get the win. If you're going to bet on the fight and you want to lay all the money, Coach is saying that, a draw is plus 1,800. I don't think this fight's going to be a draw. I think that it's going to be a boxing clinic. I think Joseph Parker may start out a little slow, but he's going to outbox Wardley, and he's going to get the W. And listen, I like Fabio Wardley. I'm not, by any stretch of the imagination, slighting him at all. It's just that I think he's in there overmatched. And quite frankly, I don't believe that he should have been ranked as high as he was to even get this opportunity. I mean, 2 big wins against, 1 draw and 1 big win against Frazier Clark. I just don't think it justifies a fight of this magnitude against Joseph Parker, who's been in there with everybody and anybody. So maybe Fabio Wardley proves me wrong, but I'm picking Joseph Parker in this one, and I do think he'll knock him out, but my official prediction is a win. Speaking of Coach, who's been in the chat room, he's got an email. He says he's gotten the word out about the return of the show, creating much more fight chatting going on, so I figured I'd drop my call for Parker Wardley. So this is his prediction. I appreciate you promoting the show, Coach, as usual, and anybody else watching or listening. If you can get the word out that we're back on. I know we took a 6-month hiatus, and I had said I was done, and, never say never, James Bond once said. But anyway, he says, in what should be a good fight with no major size or age difference, I see Parker getting the win in the typical boxer puncher style, primarily due to his superior boxing skill, fight proficiency, and tactical discipline. His ability to control the pace and distance, combined with his capable power, together it likely gives him an edge over Wardley's raw knockout power and aggression. He says in the case of the puncher's chance, if Wardley lands a significant power shot or shots or disrupts Parker's rhythm, he could, but Coach says, in parentheses, I doubt it, get an upset. Ultimately, Parker, having battled the beaten Del Boy, Derek Chisora twice, and more recently, 3 straight wins over certified bangers, Wilder, Zhang, and Martin Piccoli. His experience, ring IQ, and well-rounded abilities gets my bet. Thanks for your prediction, Coach. I know that Wardley is being touted as a knockout puncher, but, looking at who he's fought, I don't know. I really think that I don't think it's going to be. I hate to say it because I'm such a fan of the UK boxing scene, but I just don't think that this fight is going to be that competitive. I think Wardley is going to be there at some point, but not now. I think that he's going to experience a loss in this fight, and I think he'll get another shot when he'll be more prepared and more experienced, and will make a run. And I think that someday Fabio Wardley will hold a world heavyweight belt. There's no question about that. I just don't think it's happening this weekend. I started doing my rankings last week. I started with the heavyweight division, and I'm only doing 9. In case you missed last week's show, go back and watch it. No, what I'm doing is I'm sick of all these rankings. I'm sick of everybody's bogus rankings in all the sanctioning bodies, and then you do have ESPN rankings, which are more legit. You have the ring ratings, which are more legit, and you also have the computer rankings, which are really legit. But one of my hangups is all the weight classes. So rather than go back to 8, because I think that because the heavyweights are so much bigger than they were during the 8 class era, I'm picking 9, and I added the cruiserweights. So I'm going to give you my top 12 cruiserweights right now, and I'm not giving you champions. I'm just giving you who I think are the top 12 cruiserweights in the world, like I did with the heavyweights. Now, the divisions that I'll be hitting on after, well, light heavyweight is light heavyweight, but after that, we're going to be combining junior middleweight, junior welterweight, and so on. Which I think is reasonable because, especially with the 24-hour before the fight weigh-ins or close to it, we're not seeing true welterweights fighting welterweights on fight night. You got guys that are weighing in at 147, and they're weighing as much as 160 on fight night. But anyway, here's my rankings for the cruiserweight division, which is one of my favorite divisions, believe it or not. Of course, I'm like anyone else. I love the heavyweights, and I like the cruiserweights. I like the middleweights. I like all 9 of the weight classes that I'm going to be giving you rankings in. And this week we're going to do the cruiserweight rankings. Number 1 in the world, according to me, my opinion, is Jai Opetaia. I think that Jai Opetaia, he's out of Australia, the land down under. I think he's the best cruiserweight in the world. Number 2, and this was a tough decision between number 1 and number 2, but Gilberto Ramirez is got my number 2 slot from Mexico. Chris Billiam Smith at number 3 from the UK. Miguel Cieslak from Poland. He's my number 4. I like this guy. He's an animal. Ryan Rizicki. He's not the most polished fighter, but he's a beast. He's out of Canada. He's number 5. Nourair McKillian at number 6. He's a United States fighter. Yamel Peralta, I have at number 7, an Argentina fighter. I do believe you're going to see him climb. This one, a lot of the other rankings have this guy up higher. I couldn't put him any higher. I couldn't put him above any of the 7 that I just mentioned. But fighting, who was from the United States but now fighting out of Dubai, Bado Jack I have at number 8. Number 9, and Bado Jack is, he's had an up and down career of late. I just right now I have him at number 8. Number 9, I have Alexei Papin from Russia, and Papin is another one of these typical Russian fighters. So I like him. And this guy at number 10, I really like. I know he had a setback, but I expect him to climb up too. And that's Mike Perez, who's fighting out of Ireland right now. And number 11, I have Robin Safar fighting out of the good old USA. And at number 12, Leonardo Mosquera out of Panama. One thing I noticed, a lot of cruiserweights are generally not United States fighters because for some reason the U.S. boxing fan doesn't really, support the cruiserweights or they jump from light heavy to heavy. I was glad to see that we had, 3 of them, and that's, with Bado Jack splitting, but 3 USA cruiserweights, and I wish that more fighters would stay in the cruiserweight division, but it boils down to money, and a lot of them move up into the heavyweight division in order to make more money. And, I can't say I blame them there. But those are my rankings for the cruiserweight division. If you have any comments on that, drop me an email, Billy at talkinboxing, TalkinBoxing.com, or send me something on social media. Same thing, any questions, comments, concerns, just get a hold of me, and I'll read it on air. If you can't make the live show and be part of the show, We'd like to include everybody that's in the chat room. And by the way, don't forget about subscribing and following us and friending us. You can get all of our links. We have actually 3 Facebook pages. You should join the Talking Boxing with Billy C Facebook group. But we also have links to 2 other pages, as well as our Twitter account or X account. I'm sorry. We have an Instagram account now. We have a TikTok, which is, I think we got 3 views there. I guess I just don't know much about TikTok right now, but you can get all of those and links to all of those, and where you can get the podcasts and where you can watch the video versions, not only YouTube and Facebook, but Rumble. And I think we're on, Flickr maybe, or Tumble? I don't know. There's another one, but all of the links are up on BillyCBoxing.com. So we'd appreciate it if you can follow us, subscribe to us, all those things that you people do. All right. I don't know if you caught this the other day, but Max Kellerman. Now, Max Kellerman, he's one of the, in my opinion, one of the most knowledgeable guys that are out there. All right. A lot of the commentators, and I'm not saying this because I'm an old disgruntled man that doesn't get the opportunity these young, good-looking guys get, but maybe a little. But Max knows the sport, and there's nothing worse than having a guy yelling and screaming, calling every single movement that a fighter makes that really doesn't know the difference between a left hook and a fish hook. But I will say Max Kellerman knows the sport. But he's under some fire right now because some comments he made during an interview the other day. I think it might have been yesterday or the day before. And so before I get into that, Coach is asking me about my cruiserweights, my cruiserweight list here. He says, where your top 3 fit: Holyfield, Usyk, Dwight Quay, David Haye, Carlos De Leon, Johnny Nelson, Marco Huck, Juan Carlos Gomez, Maris Briedis, Ancelot Wamba, Vasily Jirov, and Jean McCormack. Vasily Jirov, actually, we had a fighter and look for Ron Lipton wrote an article about our adventure with our fighter that we fought Vasily Jirov in North Dakota. It's going to be in Ring Magazine coming up, so keep an eye out for that. Top 3, wow. Top 3 cruiserweight, huh? You got to talk about Holyfield. You got to mention Usyk. I love Dwight Muhammad Quay, but I think of him more as a light heavy. David Haye. I never was a big fan, but Carlos De Leon, big name in that division. Johnny Nelson, too. Every name that you named, Coach, are all good. So, anyway, here's the comment. Max Kellerman, he says, and I quote, Usyk has become overrated as a heavyweight champion historically and underrated as a pound-for-pound guy historically. Kellerman said this during this interview. He says, but as a heavyweight, the resume, while it's excellent at the top, it's a little thin. He hasn't beat top 10 heavyweights, something like that. He said, even for Usyk's place in history, when looking back at the resume, he got Fury twice, he got Joshua twice. Parker will be one of those guys where even if they fight and Usyk wins, we'll bring up Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua's resume. When you look at guys like Ali, it's not just that he beat Frazier and Foreman and Liston and Norton. He also beat Jerry Quarry, Oscar Bonavina, Ron Lyle, Ernie Shavers, Henry Cooper, and Doug Jones. He beat up so many fighters. Evander Holyfield, the same thing. It makes a big difference, I think. And that's what Max Kellerman said. I know where Max is coming from. But here's the thing. There wasn't a cruiserweight division to move up during Ali's time. There was with Evander Holyfield. And nobody can argue about Evander Holyfield's record and who he fought. But the guys that Ali fought, that Max Kellerman mentions here, you're talking about arguably the greatest heavyweight division, the greatest era for the heavyweight division was that era. The end of, the late 50s all the way through the 70s were just, year after year, just great fighters. And, Kellerman mentions these guys, so you can't, you can't fault a fighter. And in my opinion, the two names that I feel that, should shut Max up, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way because I like Max. The truth of the matter is the two fighters that I think Usyk should fight, to end his career is Joseph Parker and Ajit KBL. I get pissed off when people keep forgetting to put Ajit KBL in the conversation. This guy has beaten everybody that's available today, all right? And nobody wants to fight him, So, I mean, that's the guy. And that would, fill Kellerman's opinion where Usyk has a void. Those two, I think, another fight against Fury isn't worth it to me. And KBL and Parker, assuming Parker wins this weekend, should solidify his resume, considering that Usyk recently said that he was going to definitely retire at 41. I'm not sure who else would be expected to even get a shot at him, or he needs to beat. In boxing, all you need to do is fight the fighters available to you during your career. He doesn't have to fight up-and-comers like Ituma, but that's just my opinion. And, just to combat Max, he fought Tyson Fury twice, Anthony Joshua twice. He forgot to mention Daniel Dubois, who he fought twice, Derek Chisora, and he started his heavyweight campaign against Chaz Witherspoon, who was a highly ranked fighter when he fought him. I understand what Max is saying as a pound-for-pound guy, because he went from cleaning up the cruiserweight division to basically the main honcho in the heavyweight division. I just think that Max's comparison with Ali is good when you look at the black and white on paper. But where it falls short is the fact that the eras were so different. There was no cruiserweight division. There were fighters that had to fight top fighters. Today, you don't have to in the fast track. I agree with Max, but I disagree. It's a tough one. It's hard to criticize a fighter who left one division and got into another and now is just aging out. You can only fault a fighter for not fighting the best fighters available at their best during their career. That's, I've said it once, I've said it a million times. That's my knock on Floyd Mayweather. Hey, speaking of Floyd Mayweather, I saw the most comical comment that Floyd made. He said on a post, or allegedly said, that the problem with today's fighters are there are too many belts. There's too many champions walking around saying that they're the best. Well, wait a minute. That's what all his fans say about him. They try to tell me that he's better than a Sugar Ray Robinson because he beat more world champions. Well, Floyd just knocked home my point. It's diluted. But anyway, you got some comments going on. My man Cap is commenting to Coach's question to me about cruiserweights. He says De Leon was a 4-time champion. I'd give him number 3 in the cruiserweight division. Well, who was the other one? It was another guy. I always forget his name. I believe Camel, right? Marvin Camel. Aren't you forgetting him? He was also a multiple cruiserweight division champion that you have to include in the mix. Him and De Leon were around the same time. You forgot about him, Coach. Come on, But in any event, that's that. So coming up next week, we got another great selection of guests. I won't divulge it right now, but you got to watch us on social media and catch up with all of that. Listen, boys and girls, I think I'm going to call it a show because we got, at 69, I'm losing a step. Oh, at you 69, you're losing a step. Yeah, you're not 69. You're not 69, Coach. I mean, I thought you were talking about me, and I'm not even 69. But, Marvin Camel was another really great cruiserweight, in the infancy of the cruiserweight division. But Carlos De Leon was a guy that won and lost and won and lost. But anyway, hey, listen, boys and girls. Coach, really? Coach is, dude, he looks great for 69. I would have never guessed that. Forget it. You're too old. You're too old to. Yeah, I think you're starting to lose. Yes, he's starting to lose his mind. No, I'm only kidding. He looks real good for 69. See what boxing does to you, boys and girls? It keeps you looking young. But anyway, hey, listen, I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you visit BillyCBoxing.com and follow us and subscribe to us on all our platforms. I'd really appreciate it. And most importantly, make sure you tune in next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, I'll leave you with this. Ciao, baby.